Fab. So lovely to have you both with us. So I'm going to briefly introduce you both and then hand over to you. So Indigo Daya has lived experience of childhood trauma, madness, and 9 years of coercive psychiatric hospitalizations. She currently works as a survivor academic at the University of Melbourne, as a founding partner at Athena Consumer Workforce Consulting, and as an independent survivor consultant, educator, and supervisor. She is passionate about growing anti-oppressive, non-pathologizing supports. She's worked in mental health and survivor advocacy for 17 years, moving around to try and find the best practices and strategies to make change. She's been a peer support worker, community worker, founding member of the Hearing Voices Network, held advocacy, public policy, and human rights roles, and been an advisor to the Royal Commission in Victoria's mental health system. She's an artist and is considered the property of two senior ginger rescue cats called Billy and Marsh, whose pictures I've seen. Is it Marsh or Marche? Marsh.
I think Marche.
Marche sounds better. I've seen pictures on Twitter. So that's a very impressive bio. Thank you very much. And Matt sent an extraordinary brief and modest bio, which I'm tempted to add to, but I'm told you wanted it like this, Matt. So this is what Matt sent. Matt is not interested in thinking about systems reforms and communicating with people who have guilt and other interests in maintaining the status quo. He is interested in speaking at AD4E, that's good, as it is one of the few activist places in the world that does not sacrifice values for personal gain. Fab. So I think you're just going to have an informal chat with each other. Is that right?
Yes.
So,
We are.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Lovely to see
Thanks,
you.
Lucy.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Matt.
So I think we thought we'd start off. We just wanted to introduce ourselves, but you know who we are now, so we don't really need to do that. And we're going to just chat for half an hour. We've thought about what we might do and what we might not do. I think there is one thing that was really important to both of us to say, and I think is part of activist work. I'm not sure either of us think of ourselves particularly as activists, but it's part of activist work. I think we really don't want to hurt anyone in what we're saying today. It's really important to us that we're not, as Lucy said, I think about psychiatric diagnosis, we're not saying people can't have own experience, find value in the things they find value in. But so when we speak today, we're seeking to sort of engender people's experiences and for them to notice them and react to them as they would like to. So we're certainly not seeking to cause hurt or contradict or cut anyone else down. We're speaking from our hearts and well, I'm speaking from my heart and my experience, and I think Indy is doing the same.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to speak from your heart, so I'll just speak from my heart.
Yeah, nice. And you were going to say something else about then, were you, I think?
No, I think just kind of that it's because I guess when we talked coming into this, we thought, oh, some of what we say might be challenging, but maybe not. But yeah, we're not here we're just having a conversation really about our experiences of what we do. And that might be challenging, but maybe it's not. We don't know. Yeah. We're not saying what anyone should think, just what we've been thinking. Yeah. So, and what do we do? We're going to talk about what we've been up to and what we think about that.
Yeah. Do you want to start with that? Give us a bit of an overview of what you've been doing or not doing, or what you think about
outside of cat business.
Yeah. Outside of Marche.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful boys. What I've been up to, it feels like a lot. So I've been up to over a few years now. We've had a huge Royal Commission in Victoria, where I live. So for folks outside of Australia, it's kind of the southeast of Australia. We make up about a quarter of the population, a big inquiry. And I wrote submissions with our peak consumer survivor body. I gave testimony myself. I was an advisor. I started to be involved with the reform work, and I've pulled out of it all now. And I wish, frankly, I'd never had anything to do with it. Yeah. I spent about a year in seclusion, sort of in terms of doing lots of projects around seclusion. I've spent about the last year really having a whole lot of impacts of death in my life, in terms of losing my dad, my previous beloved cat Angus dying, and also re-experiencing suicide again in my life, and the mental health system, the threat of that becoming really literally real again. and like I already knew how hideous that system was from my own experiences, but having, again, after all these years, feeling that threat of other cops or a CAT team going to turn up on my doorstep, and what am I going to do if they do, and living with that fear, it's not okay. It's
No.
that's had a huge impact as well for me in thinking about what I do and why I do it.
Yeah. Do you think it's influenced what you want to do next? That recent year, that.
Yeah, absolutely. The work has as well, but like I've spent about 9 years in systemic advocacy work, and before that I was in Hearing Voices work, and I can't say with good faith that it's made any substantial difference. Not that I think just me, one person could do that with a big system, but I look at it and really what I feel is complicit in that system. I struggle with the income I've taken from it. I struggle with I had a look at our Royal Commission report. I'm cited in our Royal Commission report over 90 times.
Yeah.
And I went through so much pain to be a part of that, so much pain. And none of the recommendations have anything to do with the stuff that I fought for and pleaded for, none of them. And so I just feel like my name and my pain has been used to dress up violence. And so for me, I've just finished stepping away from all of my roles associated with reform and the mental health system. And I'm stepping much more into activism and being part of alternatives. I just don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I'm glad you said what you said about your testimony and the citations in the Royal Commission, because I think that for me, what Royal Commissions do is they are constantly seeking to reform broken and unmendable systems. It's not the individuals who suffered and experienced adversity, trauma, whatever in their lives that are broken. They're not broken. They're surviving and thriving in the best way they can. The systems are built on broken structures, and so to misuse survivor testimonies is another bullshit layer of the systems. And I was glad you spoke of it and shared it, because I think it's really, I hope people got what you were saying. You give testimony, it gets cited,